Hi Poco fans, this is Manmohan here and I have with me Anuj. First of all, wish you all a belated Dashara. Hope you guys all had good fun. Today we have few more questions asked by our Poco fans and let's go one by one. Anuj, the first question is from Sai Ram. His question is, I bought Poco M2 Pro 4GB RAM variant. Is the 4GB RAM and 6GB RAM phone same in performance? Pretty much is he asking, will they work?
Okay, so the answer is actually yes and no. From a performance perspective, the speed, the read writes that you get will not be any different. I mean, you're basically there are three things that you need to look at. One is how good is your performance processor. Second is how fast is your RAM.
Correct.
And the third part is how fast is your storage. And essentially that's how the data moves. So between the 4GB and the 6GB, from a pure performance perspective, you will not see too much of a difference. Where you start seeing a difference is if you are multitasking quite a bit, because there's only so much that can be put in the RAM. And beyond that, obviously, it will have to start killing processes.
Got it. The next question is from Kushagra. Sir, I like under-display fingerprint sensor. Is any upcoming Poco phone coming with under-display fingerprint sensor?
Okay.
So yeah.
I've also been very interested in the under-display fingerprint sensors last year. But when I started using that, it changed. Right? I mean, and these were on flagships, so don't get me wrong. A flagship phone with a 855 or even a 865 processor having an under-display fingerprint sensor. So there's clearly nothing wrong with the performance of the phone. But see, think of it this way, right? You've got a display. That's why it's under the display. The display has to do other things, and then you've got your fingerprint sensor. It is always going to be slower than a proper physical fingerprint sensor. So if I can, even for a premium flagship, which has probably 865 or whichever is the fastest chip around, I would prefer to have the fingerprint sensor as a physical sensor. May not be at the back, because back is not really convenient for everyone, because if you keep it on your desk. But I really like the side fingerprint sensor. We have used it. Almost all our phones have the side one. X2 had it, X3 has it. If we were to do a flagship, I would prefer a physical fingerprint sensor. See, you need a fingerprint sensor that will unlock faster. And I think nothing beats a physical fingerprint sensor versus what you have.
I think it's also got to do with latest technology, right? I mean, any new technology, for it to kind of achieve a steady state, it will take time. And I don't think under-display fingerprint sensor has reached that stage as of yet.
It will always have issues, right? So the same sensor, if it can be put on a physical part outside, will always be faster. So it's going through one particular layer.
Yep.
So irrespective of where you are, it'll always be a problem. But again, I don't know where the tech goes. But so far, from all the tech that I've seen, I would prefer to have a physical one, not under display.
Got it. The next question is from Hemant. Is there any plans of entering IoT market from Poco with the same hashtag, everything you need, nothing you don't?
That'll be an interesting question to have. In the IoT space, what is it that is needed and what is not?
True.
For example, do you need smart lights, or you can just get up and switch it off? But yeah, we will kind of look at that. Of course, from a smart devices perspective, or at least connected devices perspective, we are looking at what could be the possibilities, but it's not going to be as easy.
True.
And the last thing that we want to do is just carpet bomb the whole thing, saying ye bhi le lo, wo bhi le lo, which I don't think will be a good strategy for us.
Agree. The next question is Navneet. When all Poco F1 devices get update 12? I think he meant MIUI 12. Because I still have not got update.
Sure. So we started rolling this out. It's still going. Some people have tested it. It's still undergoing certain fixes, but it will be out soon. So it was almost out of the door, and then we had to kind of fix a few more things.
Yep.
Actually, I can understand the pain, because it's very similar to how I am feeling right now. with this game called Cyberpunk 2077. I mean, I have pre-ordered this game so long back. It's an expensive game, and then the dates have kept changing. And just last weekend, I was like, okay, Diwali is going to be over. 19th November it will release, and I will obviously from 19th till maybe Christmas I'm going to play Cyberpunk. And now it's moved to 10th December. And
Did you know that the engineers, the developers were given death threats because of the delay?
I mean, so when I go back and think about this, and of course I have this inside view from here as well, better have something which is stable and useful than just for the sake of it. So I would hate to get a game that I've waited for so long to be buggy.
Yeah.
I mean, I will kind of just stop playing. And the same thing should be for all software updates as well.
The next question is from Yashas. As Realme is launching X7 series in India, do you guys have any plans in launching very similar phones in the price bracket and similar specs, basically 5G, as Jio has planned to launch 5G phone at 2500 rupees? That means we can expect 5G very soon. Essentially, he's asking, are we planning to launch any 5G phone?
Okay. I don't know about X7 or something like that. I don't remember seeing anything from Jio on 5G. Except for the fact that they are not very happy about the spectrum costs.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't think Jio will have a 5G phone. I mean, right now, which is the cheapest 5G phone you can get?
Right now, I think it's only the flagships with any Snapdragon 800 series.
So 765 and all of that.
765 right? Is there. Yeah, that's right.
So right now, you don't even have a 5G phone under 25,000.
Correct.
I don't know who launches what.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to come to 2,000 that early.
And a question to you, Anuj, specifically. I mean, is it right to wait for the 5G spectrum to be coming in first, or for the device to be coming in first?
It's a chicken and egg,
right?
You don't know, what actually works. If you have enough devices, will the network come faster? Or vice versa? Remains to be seen.
True.
And obviously, internally from a Poco perspective also, we are studying 5G closely. We are looking at what could be the possible use cases, and do people really value those 5G, use cases.
Yep.
If it works out, then we can kind of look at 5G, but I can't promise whichever price bands that you are looking at.
Understood. The next question is from Adnan Alam. Not a question, it's a request. Will you guys consider launching Poco X2 globally?
Okay.
I think we got a question from outside India.
I don't know which geography that is in.
That is India.
So we can let the local teams know if you guys are really interested in.
Yeah.
Actually, not X2, but now there is X3.
X3.
Sure. But at least here we are completely focused on the Indian market.
The next question is from Vignesh. Hello Anuj and Manmohan sir. My question is, when will Poco launcher get Android 10 navigation gestures, MIUI 12 app open and close animation, etc., as current Poco launcher has broken animation, which is making user experience and many people complaining about the same. Would like to hear an update regarding Poco launcher update. Thank you. So essentially, they're asking about Poco launcher updates.
Wait, do you know what's broken?
No, I am, to be honest, this is the first time I am coming across this kind of issue. In fact, the Poco launcher is one of the most downloaded launchers on the Google third-party launches in the Google Play Store.
Okay. So frankly, I mean, if you have very specific asks, it'll be really helpful if you can give a detailed feedback. We'll definitely take that in.
Yeah.
But on the X3, I've not really seen anything broken, so I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
It could be something that you're expecting. Just let us know exactly what it is. We'll be happy to help.
Okay. The next question is from Samarjeet. Anuj sir and Manmohan sir, hello. I hope both of you are well and doing good. My question is, could you please add the call recording option on Poco X3? I think this is the second time we are hearing this question.
And last time also I asked if it was legal to record calls. Sure. See, right now we are using a dialer from Google. We'll definitely let the Google team know. on this particular feedback.
True.
And try and get that going. Meanwhile, there are ways of solving for call recording. Maybe we can put those in the description of this video, in terms of if you are using a Poco X3 for that matter and you want call recording, how do you kind of get that going?
Yeah. This is by no means that we are officially confirming it. It's just we are trying to solve a problem.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of third-party ones which we can kind of say that they'll work fine.
Yeah. The next is from Sampath Sam. I have been writing questions since Poco AMA episode 1. Please pick my questions. Okay, nice to hear. Which one does Mr. Anuj Sharma pick from? Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 versus Dimensity 1000 Plus. I think he's asking you to pick which of these two processors would you select if given a choice.
Okay. Depending on the use case. So frankly, I've not really used the Dimensity.
By the way, in the brackets he said based on value for performance.
Value for performance. Again, I don't know how that performs. Frankly, 865 phones have all been expensive this year. If I could, I would probably pick 855 even today. It is a great chip, and considering last year we saw phones at about 26,000-27,000 with the 855. Even if you can get a 855 phone today at about 24,000-25,000, it will be great value.
True. The next question is now for Mr. Manmohan Chandolu. When you joined Poco and now leaving Poco, what you gonna learn from Team Poco? So he's pretty much asking me what are my learnings. Right? Okay, that's a pretty deep question, man. But broadly, I'll kind of classify it into three things maybe. Number one, whatever you're promising to the fans, if you're delivering it, they will always value you, right? That's the first thing which I think I've learned, and I'll probably take it to wherever I'm heading towards. Second is being transparent, not just to your fans and customers, but also to your colleagues. That is extremely important. The more you're transparent, the more we problem solve together. It pretty much becomes a fun ride than anything else. And lastly, the question is, whatever you're doing, have fun while doing it. Then you will never feel a day which is kind of let down. So pretty much, these are the three learnings which I'll probably take from Poco. The third question is there any new smartphone launch this year?
No. I mean, from Poco. I'm sure there'll be new smartphone launches. From our side, no new launches this year.
The next question is Paresh Pandey asking this question from a Poco X3. I'm in love with this device, especially the haptic engine and the display on this bad boy is brilliant. Nice to hear that.
No, it is brighter. We saw that on the
true. That is true.
Test also.
Yep. My question is the Poco Pop Buds going to support Qualcomm aptX HD as Poco X3 has it? Any launch hits if possible?
No hints right now, but let's see what all it can support.
Yeah.
He's talking about aptX or aptX HD?
aptX HD.
Nice.
The next question is, can we get official Poco cases for Poco X3, like a Kevlar case in the memory of the legendary Poco?
I would actually like that. I mean, right now we are not selling cases, so we'll have to figure out how we can kind of provide those. But that'll be interesting to have, actually.
True. We can think about it.
Yeah,
we can definitely think about it. Ayan Sarkar, congratulations for selling 1 million plus smartphones in Big Billion Day sale. Thank you. Hi Anuj sir and C Manmohan sir. हम लोगों ने अभी तक पोको का न्यू ऑफिस नहीं देखा है. Please make a tour video of your office and meeting room. Okay.
Tour video of the office and meeting room.
Abhi to everyone is working from home.
So actually, we only meet up for a few things in a week.
Like this video.
Like the video. But from an office perspective, everything is just completely off and on hold. But we will get there. I think one day I'm hoping, once things are back to normal, I don't know if it'll be a vaccine or at the end of this, we'd love to have people over. Take them around the office. It's obviously a small place, but it'll be still good to have.
Yeah. The question he is asking us, my question is about fast charging. Will the fast charging cause any damage to the battery if it is regularly charged? I am not asking about whole night charging. Wish you guys and Poco team a very happy Diwali. So somewhat like a question which we answered in the previous session.
Yeah, so I mean, fast charging versus one is question how fast, right? Frankly, we've seen 15, 18, 20, 30, 33 being relatively safe. So we've not really seen any impact on the battery life.
Yep.
But how far can you push it is something that we are obviously studying. I mean, there is a particular science to it. If you are charging things too quickly, it can probably have an adverse effect, but it probably is too early to tell.
Yeah.
Those tests, you will start seeing impact of that test after like about 300 or 400 charge cycles. So maybe, if once you've used a phone for a year and a half, you may or may not, and that's when people will kind of find out.
True.
But again, if you are charging your phone overnight, frankly, even a 10-watt charger is great.
True. The next question is from Harshit. I bought a Poco X3 recently and I'm very satisfied with the device. Enjoyed the experience. Coming to the question, I was curious about 732G's performance. It is supposed to be performing a bit better than 730G and 720G, but it's almost similar and benchmark scores are below 300,000. Can we expect optimization for this beast in the near future through updates so that consumers can use the device to the full potential? Thank you.
Okay. So one is, it can hit 300,000.
Correct.
But of course, none of the apps are interfering, and under ideal conditions, obviously you hit that. Likewise, under ideal conditions, 720G will probably hit about 270.
270. That's correct.
Or under ideal conditions, my car actually is supposed to give me a mileage of 21. No, it's not that bad. But it does get pretty close to 300. Of course, it also depends on what else are you using. If you keep things side by side with a 730 and a 732G or a 720, you will see a difference.
A market difference, yes. Definitely you'll see a market difference. Okay, then there is one comment which we got, which is like, we are not taking up difficult questions to answer.
Difficult questions?
I don't know what a difficult question is supposed to be.